While we're all eagerly waiting for the third season of Squid Game after that insane cliffhanger, plenty of questions remain unanswered. Hwang Dong-hyuk has a lot to clarify this summer. According to the director, the next season will be the final chapter for Ji-hun's arc, meaning his story won't continue beyond that. But let's be real, there's no way Netflix is going to just let go of its biggest franchise without trying to turn it into a full-blown cinematic universe. A while back, a so-called Phase 1 lineup of upcoming Squid Game projects started circulating online, showing a planned slate of seasons up to winter 2028. Unfortunately, that turned out to be fake, but what's not fake is the officially announced US version of Squid Game. This was confirmed back in October with none other than David Fincher set to direct. Details are still scarce, but rumors have been swirling for months about what Fincher's next project might be. While he could squeeze in a movie first, insiders suggest that Squid Game is his priority for the year. If this happens, it'll mark the first scripted spin-off, though not the first extension of its universe. We already have the reality competition show titled The Challenge, which has been renewed for a second season. But Fincher's version will be the first English-language scripted adaptation, standing alongside Hwang Dong-hyuk's original South Korean thriller. What makes Fincher the perfect choice? Squid Game's themes of survival, power, and the dark side of human nature align perfectly with the director's signature style. If you've seen his 1997 psychological thriller, The Game, starring Michael Douglas and Sean Penn, you'll notice the eerie similarities, real people unknowingly getting pulled into a high-stakes, life-or-death game. Fincher already has a strong relationship with Netflix, having directed The Killer, starring Michael Fassbender, which became a hit for the platform. He was also one of Netflix's earliest creative heavyweights, helping launch House of Cards and later producing Mindhunter, a crime thriller that still has a cult following. On top of that, he's the executive producer behind the Emmy-winning Love, Death and Robots. According to The Playlist, Fincher has secretly been developing an American Squid Game adaptation for the past 2 years. He's working with British writer Dennis Kelly, the mastermind behind Utopia, a project Fincher almost directed for HBO before it fell apart due to budget issues. Initially, David was set to develop a Chinatown prequel series for Netflix back in 2019, but after Squid Game exploded into a global phenomenon, he shifted gears and put that project on hold. Now he's fully committed to Squid Game, a franchise that fits his dark and twisted storytelling style like a glove. Fincher has always been unpredictable with his next moves, keeping multiple projects in development at once, but lately, all signs suggest that Squid Game is his next big project. Netflix hasn't officially confirmed anything yet, but multiple sources claim they desperately want Fincher to lead the adaptation. However, about a year after the rumors first started, Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos seemingly shot them down, saying that as long as the original series is still running, there's no real need for a remake. But does that mean a US version is completely off the table? Not necessarily. A show of this scale takes time to develop, especially if it's meant to stand alongside rather than replace the original. And with a meticulous director like Fincher, it's not surprising that he'd want to take his time rather than rush into production and risk sacrificing quality. Expanding the Squidverse has been part of Netflix's strategy ever since the first season became a cultural phenomenon. The show's brutal take on capitalism, where desperate people are forced to play deadly childhood games for the entertainment of the elite, struck a chord with audiences worldwide. Originally planned as a one-season series, Netflix quickly capitalized on its massive success, turning it into a full-blown multimedia universe. With both Fincher and Kelly known for their work in the thriller genre, it's likely that the American version will have an even darker tone, if that's even possible. The original is already bleak and brutal, but Fincher could take it to a whole new level by adding a psychological horror element. Squid Game's core theme, that money is the root of all evil, is universal, but in a US setting, the class struggles could take on a different shade. Given the current political and economic climate in America, a version that subtly explores the conservative versus liberal divide could add an interesting new layer to the story, setting it apart from the South Korean original. One major change? The children's games. Some games in the original are universally known like Tug of War and Marbles, but others, like Dalgona, are uniquely Korean. The US version will need to feature classic American playground games. Imagine the twisted potential of Simon Says, a perfect replacement for Red Light, Green Light, Tag, musical chairs, or even Foursquare. The possibilities for deadly variations on these innocent games are endless. At its core, Squid Game is about the ultra-rich treating the poor like disposable entertainment, and in an American setting, this concept could become even more chilling. Now picture the front man. In the original series, he was a former winner who turned into the system's enforcer, but in Fincher's version, he could be even more sinister. What if he was a corrupt politician? Once a congressman, he got caught up in shady deals and was given a choice: disappear or become the face of something much darker. Now he runs the game, fully aware that this is how the system truly works. The weak die, the rich survive. His mask could carry Masonic symbolism, hinting at an elite conspiracy conspiracy running the entire show. And with Fincher's knack for weaving in hidden messages and layered storytelling, this version of the frontman could be one of the most compelling villains in the entire Squidverse. With Netflix continuing to push the boundaries of its biggest franchises, it's only a matter of time before the franchise expands in new directions. Whether or not Fincher's American adaptation happens, one thing is clear: Squid Game isn't just a show anymore, it's a full-fledged phenomenon, and its most dangerous games may be yet to come. Stay tuned.